Jambo, hello, and Karuba. Karuba, welcome. I've been practicing all morning and it didn't come out right as I thought. That is the word in Swahili for welcome. I'm Bonnie Philbrick, your host for today's topic. I am the owner of Make a Difference Safaris, where your dream safaris helps change lives and protects wildlife. I lovingly came up with the acronym MAD Safaris. I thought today I'd start out with, let's see, make sure everybody's here. Oh, hello, everybody can hear me. Send me some likes if you do. And thought I'd start out to let you know a little bit about me. As you probably can tell, I am a Harley Davidson fan. My husband owns a Road King, and we do love taking the bike out down here in Florida where we live, Palm Coast, on wonderful rides, especially when they can do it in the wintertime. Speaking of hubby, he is fully retired. His name's Tom, and we've been together 38 years, married 34 this past December. And it's been quite getting used to, probably more an adjustment on me than him. We have a son, an adult son, Ryan, who lives in New Hampshire, which is our home state. And I've been traveling, excuse me, I've been planning travel since 1985. Yep. Over 30 years. I just can't believe it. Started back in the days when we used to handwrite tickets and reservations to hotels, car rental companies, cruise lines. I used to have to call on the phone, make the reservations, then call back the client and say, is this what you want? And then call back and make any adjustments. So in those years. And I actually have been a home-based agent since 2009. And decided to change my focus to African safaris in 2014. That's because I ran across a company called Mikado Safaris. And for every safari I sell, they sponsor a child, secondary school age, secondary school, 1st to 8th grade, from the Mukuru slum just outside of Nairobi, which I think we can all agree that education it's the most important element in a child's life. It's not only going to improve theirs, but it's going to hopefully help them go back and improve their community as well. So many of the children that have been through the one-to-one commitment through Mikados, they've become teachers, they've become doctors, they've become engineers to be able to see how they can improve the horrible slum conditions in Mukuru. This is built on one of the largest trash dumps in the world. If you get a chance, go on Google Satellite, check out Mukuru slums. It's just phenomenal. I can't believe it. I have lived all over the world. My father was in the military, so I lived 3 years in Taiwan, 2 years in Panama, and 4 years in Africa, which is why Africa is in my soul and why I just love it and want everybody else to have the chance to go and see. She's such a beautiful continent, the people, the wildlife and the diversity of the continent. You can just be in a jungle in one day and down in a savanna the next, and in the desert too. So let's see. Now that I switched to only Africa, I can help my clients plan the most wonderful experience in the world. It's going to change your life once you do go there. I promise you, it's just so surreal you can't explain it to people. You have to go there. Okay, enough about me. Today's topic is, should you visit your sponsored child at their school? There really are two topics here. The first is orphanages and schools. Over the last decade, orphanage tourism has become very popular. It's a way that travelers can be involved and help the children, they think. What's happened is, in a lot of countries, Cambodia is one, and some places in Africa, orphanages have popped up for tourism, but the children aren't orphans. They promise the parents that the children are going to have a better life and they're going to be taken care of, when in actuality, they're actually being put on display. I mean, think about it. Would you want your child to be on display? it disrupts their lives so much when tourists go there, just for like a half an hour, 2-hour visit or something. And I'm quoting these about the number of orphanages and not orphans from Save the Children. That's where I've got my research and so forth. Basically, what Save the Children says is orphanages that have cropped up for tourism really are child slavery. Nobody wants that. The other issue with an orphanage is people will volunteer to go, thinking that they're going to give a helping hand and benefit, the day-to-day running of it. Well, in reality, the constant rotation of adults coming in and out of the orphanages, it really does play havoc with the children. They get attached in some ways, and so then there's anxiety when they have to leave. Some of them, they feel like, my own parents, why am I not able to have them give me what the volunteers do? So it does play a mind game with them. If you do want to go to an orphanage that you sponsor, for instance, I have one that I sponsor a child at. It's called East African Mission Orphanage. And they actually have set routines that if volunteers want to come, they have a schedule set up. And like they could be out helping till the wheat area with the children, helping to sew clothes that need to be mended. I mean, there's all kinds of things that they have set up that you can do, but they have residents for you to stay at on the property. And those residents, they're actually little huts that you get to stay in. The children that have grown up and have learned skills for hospitality, because pretty much a lot of what goes on in Africa is hospitality. You're going to go to your resorts, you're going to go to the camps and so forth. They need people to cook. They need people to service the rooms, change the sheets, that kind of stuff. So the children have grown up that are not doing, they're in between. They could be going to college, and while they're in college, they want to supplement their income. So those children will work at the huts where you'll be staying, but it's away from the daily activities. They do not want volunteers to interrupt the school sessions during the day. Someone may help with reading. You would do that after their school. But you have to participate in their daily routine as well. So if you're going to be sponsoring a child at an orphanage, please do your research. Make sure that the orphans are truly orphans, that they are given an education and then helped to find jobs in their community, or helped to further their education through college through donations at the orphanages, and see that the government is involved in making sure that they're up to standards. So the difference between an orphanage and just visiting a school, no one wants to interrupt a child's daily school learning. It's very disruptive. And some teachers feel that when tourists come and visit, that they need to put on something, have them singing or reciting poems, that kind of stuff. It's kind of demeaning, really, when you think about it. Yes, they want to say they're happy for how you've been sponsoring them, but not every person who's there as a traveler is sponsoring someone there that's in school. The other thing you don't want to do is, if you bring something for a child, you got to bring something for every child, and don't hand it just to the children. You need to hand it to the teacher or to the chaperone who's with you. And when I say bring something, money shouldn't be brought. It should be things like pencils, crayons, colored paper. I mean, it's amazing. They don't get colored paper there. They treat everything with such dignity, stuff that we just take for granted, with thousands and thousands of things on our shelves, and they're happy to see a pencil with an eraser on it. So again, orphanages, schools, two totally different things. You wouldn't want your child on display at a school either. And that's what's nice about Mikado Safaris when they sponsor a child. When you sponsor a child through them, you will go to a place in the Makuru slum called the Harambe Center. It's in the center of the slums. It's the only place that has running water, green grass, places for the kids to sit, and places for them to sit outside and enjoy the warm weather. They have a nursery for some of the older children who are there who have siblings or even their own children that can be watched while they're studying. They have a small computer center, a library. So if you're sponsoring a child through Mikado, you can meet that child at the Harambe Center. And, you have some time with them they know who you are because you've been, corresponding with them. That would be the way to do it, is out away from the rest of the school children, outside their normal routine so that you're not disrupting it and they can continue to learn. And it gives you a chance to really get to know the child that you're sponsoring. Let's see. I did mention try and bring enough for all of the children. You can. Usually there's no more than, say, 30 students in a class. And, 30 pencils is nothing. When I went, we were only allowed 30 pounds in our suitcase. And believe me, I was able to bring pencils and pens and erasers and paper. And it just warms your heart when you're able to do something like that. And that's really the way it should be done. So that's my little dissertation for today. It's a very, what's the word I want to use? The topic is difficult to talk about, very sensitive. That's what I wanted to say. It's a very sensitive topic. Yes, we want to help, but we also want to make a difference. We don't want to just, throw money at people and say, here, get an education. We want to help all the way around. And I think that's one thing that we can do through Make a Difference Safaris and Mikado Safaris. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave me a comment. I will get back to you. And on Friday, I'm going to have another live Facebook topic on you're going on safari. Why would you go in cramped economy when you possibly could go in business or even by private jet? And that's something I can talk to you about. Thank you so much for today, and you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.